Welcome to the Jen Cares Powered by Chosen Live podcast, a podcast that brings the community to you. Each week, we feature a guest that will help us stay in the know. We are here every Monday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now here's your host, Jen Cares.
Well, good evening, friends, and welcome to Jen Cares powered by Chosen Counselors. Thank you so much for joining. I am your host, Jen Cares, the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. As always, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in on today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Last week we had the amazing my brother Jaza, aka Jay, aka Be Bold, Speak Out, okay? And that was such a good segment. I hope that you did catch it. If not, be sure to catch that rewind. He was even showing off doing a rewind before I got my rewind out. But that's just how good it was. And I'm so grateful that he was able to join us, sharing about his book, Designed to Be Me. Friends, don't get caught up with the wrong designer. And friends, don't get caught up being the wrong designer. That was a good one, wasn't it? The wrong designer. Because sometimes they want to make us and mold us and push us how they want us to be, and ain't the way that God wants us to be, or the way that's true to us. But be sure that you seek God. I'm always going to talk about God. We know we do that. But you seek who you believe in. I'm going to seek Jesus so that I can be that which he's called for me to be. And I want you to be the amazing person that you're called to be as well. Being true to you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about casting your vision. My sister Char wrote a book called Cast Your Vision. She wrote some other books, not going to tell you her business. She's going to get on and do that for us, okay? But when I was thinking of tonight's topic, I thought of chosen counselors, how I cast the vision for chosen counselors. And in 2015 is when Chosen Counselors was birthed. And as shared always, our mission is to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. However, the other part of that is that we will do that by way of one-on-one counseling, by way of family therapy, by way of conferences, by way of workshops, by way of literature and other events. That was in 2015. So we were doing some events and things of that sort, but it wasn't until a couple years ago that we started with the lives and things of that sort, or some of the counseling pieces that we do, the conferences. I've been doing a lot of workshops in the last couple of years, but it's interesting because in 2015, that was the vision. That's what I cast, but it's now coming to fruition. So in casting your vision, our friend is going to share with us tonight how it may not seem possible right now, but if you could dream it, guess what, friends? It can happen. It can be done. And I'm so excited to have her. Good evening, bro, Doc. Ulysses Pratt, he just celebrated 1 year anniversary at the Lighthouse. And I want to give you congratulations. Why? Because you cast your vision. And your vision is continuing to grow and prosper for all those that are connected to the Lighthouse. Because they shining some lights on some situations. Okay, so friends, tonight we're going to talk about cast your vision. And I'm not going to belabor any longer. We have tonight the amazing, my sis, Char Phelps. So put your hands together virtually. Here we go. Woo!
Hi, Stephanie, everybody.
Yes. How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful. Today was a great day. It was a great day, and I haven't had many of those recently, but today was a great day. How
I
are you?
like, I like that. Today was a great day too. And I like the honesty because if we're honest, we do a lot of different things. And sometimes it's a good day.
hmm
Sometimes it's like,
Sometimes it's not
mm,
a day, but today was a great day.
so good, so good to hear. So good to hear. So over here at Jen Cares, we always start with a quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. Again, change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. And that's by Bob Proctor. What are your thoughts on that quote?
Um, I think back to probably around 2015, and that was a time where I was hella depressed. I was hella broke, and And I'll never forget it because I told myself I'm sick and tired of being broke. And because I was sick and tired of being broke, living paycheck to paycheck, barely making it to the next paycheck, I said, I gotta change. I gotta change because the world is changing around me. But if I don't change stuff for me, I'll always be stuck in the same place. And so it clicked. That's my thought about that quote. Change. We gotta change. We have to change.
Because it's not until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired that a change can come about. And it's not always easy because we
Mm-mm.
don't know what that change will bring, you know? It sounds good, but if I have to move to a different neighborhood, this is my hood. I know this hood. You want me to go where? If I got to go to a new school, as we graduate in school from fifth grade to eighth grade and things of that sort, it changed now. But this was my cocoon. I felt safe here. We don't know what it looks like on the other side, but if we just step out on faith, we never know what could be on the other side of that door.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, so sorry with the mic. We trying to work it out. Friends, I've never had trouble with these mics to these last 2 weeks. Something's in the internet and it's not trying to let us be great, but we're gonna work it out. Thank you for
We're
letting
gonna
us know.
we're gonna work it out and I'm gonna talk a little louder.
Okay, yes, yes. So, friends, as always, I have prepared some questions to guide tonight's topic. But if you have any questions or thoughts, be sure to comment below. Shar, let's kick it off. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Char Phelps. I am from Trenton, New Jersey, but about 10 years ago, my twin and I, so I'm a twin also, my twin and I moved to Pennsylvania. And we did so because Trenton was getting really violent and really dangerous. And so we had to remove ourselves for our safety, we felt like. And so in the midst of that, I entered into this whole big new world of Pennsylvania slash Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And Philadelphia really pushed me because coming to Philadelphia, I saw things that I didn't see in Trenton. And that was young people being entrepreneurs. That was young people owning homes. That was young people just being bosses. I didn't see that in Trenton. And so we came to Pennsylvania, and in the midst of that, I joined the local ministry. I hooked up with some phenomenal people. I published a couple books. I wrote a couple books, published a couple books, started a couple businesses. So I'm a business owner.
Whoop, whoop,
And
whoop.
I know, yeah, it's all fun and games until it's not fun and games no more. I
No lie.
absolutely love being an entrepreneur. Absolutely love it. It's the most rewarding thing that God has placed in my hands. And so I'm a business owner. I have a couple businesses. I still work, unfortunately, but that'll change. That'll change. And I'm just a lover of God. I'm a lover of his people. Vision is stamped on my life. It's stamped on me. It's ingrained in me to see and to help other people see. Bible says we perish for lack of knowledge or vision or whatever version you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say we're going to die, but that part of us that dreams, whether we're daydreaming or whether we're sleeping and dreaming, that part of us dies. And so God has really stamped this thing on my life. And when he gives me the opportunity to see into someone else's future, it's probably the most amazing thing. And so that's me. And I just want to pause and say, I am obsessed with you, Jen. I'm obsessed with you. I absolutely love, and I was saving this for this live so I
Oh,
can give you your flowers. I
oh,
absolutely love what your heart looks like, and I love what you look like, and I love we're human, but I love your brand. I love your brand, and I'm always stalking your Facebook to see what you're doing and how you're doing it. I am obsessed with you, and I love you, and I thank you. I thank you
oh.
for using your influence to put me in front of things. put me in front of people. I appreciate you. I love you.
Oh, thank you, Char. I love you. You know, friends, it's sometimes that you can meet somebody and it just like clicks right off the bat, and it's like this a dope person. You want to be around
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
So I give flowers right back to you, Char. You are amazing. We had our day of empowerment this year, our first time in person, and I came across a post that she had posted. Didn't know her from a can of paint, and I was like, oh, I need to get her right, and preparing for the event, I was like, she's the wild card. I have nothing to give her. She's the wild card. Because I just had this faith and this trust that she's going to come and she's going to bring whatever we need at that right moment. Not knowing you was going to be in there like all them people business. Hey, Mama Wanda. She said, you spoke truth into my life. Mama Wanda was one of the attendees. And as you said, the insight that God gives you and shares with you, we thank you for you sharing that light, because that's a hard walk too.
Yeah.
Because even though God's giving it to you, you want to share it, but you don't know how the people going to respond and things of that sort. And it ain't about that. It's really about, God getting his point across. But thank you for your boldness, for your light, for your love, for your heart, for how you bring people together as well. You're doing some amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So let's talk about this. So you said, when you came to this area, you got to see some more people in business. How did that inspire you, or how did you know that was a missing piece in your life to be able to see that when you had not seen it times before?
I knew it was a missing piece when all I could think about was my future. And I didn't know how to express that. And I didn't know how to get to a point where it was manifested. And this this really unfolded itself when I was playing Uno with my niece. She was like 5 years old, playing Uno with her. I was waxing her butt in Uno. I took no prisoners, honey, none. And she's sitting there, and she's not mad or anything, but she just stopped and she looked at me, and she called me Charnot because she couldn't pronounce Charnette, so she always called me Charnot. She said Charnot, and I said yes, baby. She said everything that's in your head is going to come out. And I said, what? And she just went back to playing Uno. God used her just that quick. And I sat there and I was like, okay, God. And so from that moment, this was in 2000 and probably 16, 15, 16. And from that moment, I was just tunnel vision with what I needed to do. How do I get it out of my mind? And how do I not become a disappointment to myself? I never thought that I was a disappointment to God. There's no place in the Bible where he was disappointed, except for in the Old Testament. But he redid creation. And so I always worried about being a disappointment to myself, because I held myself to a high standard. Char, you're somebody, and everybody knows it. So you gotta do what you said you're gonna do, even if you ain't said out your mouth to people. Um, that was a struggle for me, and seeing this clothing designers, young people younger than me at the time, with their own clothing lines and their own catering businesses. And I said, I can't be a bum. I can't be a bum. I'm not, I'm into designer labels and all that, but it was just me looking a certain way to me. And so being among like-minded people who was like, listen, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to hook up with this person, I got to hook up with that person. And being among them, it kind of, changes your perspective and your gaze, and it changes your work ethic, because you got to do it. They're doing it, so you got to do it. And that's how I had to adjust. I just had to adjust.
Some key points you said, it really boiled down to location. We also talk about like who's around you. And who's around you is important. But friends, sometimes it's your location. Sometimes you gotta change the location. I can't
Yes.
hang out at this restaurant. I gotta boss up a little bit because I want to be
Yes.
around like-minded people. There's nothing wrong with those spots, because if I want to quick something, you could go there. But after a while, you want to go to like that steak place, the Del Frisco's, the Sullivan's, the Steak 48 things, because you want to experience a higher caliber than what you're used to. I remember doing a group with some young ladies, and I was asking them what's their favorite restaurant, and they're like McDonald's or they're like Wendy's, and I was heartbroken. But at that moment, that was the highest that they went. But it's not until you're experiencing something new. It's like, what? They
Yeah.
do that? I can
Yeah.
get that. They give me service like that. Oh,
Yeah.
this is a cloth napkin, not a regular tissue napkin
Yes.
or some toilet paper. Come on, Ruth Chris, you gotta up your palate. And sometimes the location you have to change. And in the areas of where you go for those restaurants, they're in different areas as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
The parking
Yes.
is a little bit different. You don't have to
Yes.
search for a spot or they have valet.
Ballet.
So the location makes a difference because it shows you something bigger that's out there. And sometimes even, I had to check myself. One time I went to a restaurant and I was asking for like a little different kind of sauce, and someone like, Jennifer, just try how they made it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried how they made it. I said, this was good. So again, the location gives you something different. You get to see that an entrepreneur that's doing some things is like, hey, if they can do it, I could
Yes.
do it too.
Yes.
And I love the piece of your niece because God uses anybody. And friends, we just have to be open because we are going through some things, experiencing some things. I could be watching TV and get a revelation, be like, how is this show, random show, all in my business? Friends, be open because you never know. But the part that hit me, this G got, I'm not a G, she's a crybaby, but I got a little tear duct. It was like trying to think was, how do I not become a disappointment to myself? Can we sit
Yeah.
there for a second?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
you do put yourself to a higher standard, and somebody be like, "No, you did good," and you're like, "I could have did better," or whatever other thought. Or it's like not be a disappointment to myself because why did I stay in that situation longer when I knew that I needed to be out? Why did I stay at that job longer when I knew I needed to be out? Why did I stay wherever longer when I knew I needed to be out? And sometimes that could cause us to be a disappointment, or
Yeah.
we're not putting forth as good as we could to make sure that we're doing those things that are tasked in our hands. Like, how do
Yeah.
you deal with that moving forward? Because I'm not sure that it really leaves. It's like a recurring thought to help you stay on your grind, but what helps you to stay balanced in that of being appreciative of where you are and where you're going?
I think the one thing that I've learned over the years, over the past 13 years, is to be gentle with me because I am an ex-striver. And so, or I'm an ex-people pleaser rather. And so I used to strive to please God, but being a people pleaser, we go hard in a paint just to have someone say, "Oh, thank you," or "good job," or for them to see you a certain way. And when the Lord delivered me from that and also healed me from striving and having this perfectionist thing about me where I had to look perfect and I had to do it perfectly. Me and my twin actually got into it for months because I was a perfect Christian. And she really opened my eyes to that. And that's what led me down this path of healing. But then just to be gentle with myself, as long as I'm not always going to hit the mark when I go for the mark, but as long as I keep going after the mark, in my business with when I'm trying to when I'm trying to write a book and I set deadlines for myself. Maybe I want to be done writing in 3 months. But if I don't hit that deadline, but I'm constantly working towards it, I can extend it. I can extend it and create another deadline. And so I've just learned just to be gentle because I was hard on myself. I mean, depressed because I didn't live up to my own standard. And disappointment comes when the standard isn't upheld. And so I'm just gentle. And it's hard sometimes because I'm an overthinker. It's hard because I'm very analytical. I'm constantly thinking. My brain is constantly thinking to where I wear myself out.
Uh,
But physically, would literally physically wear myself out thinking. But along the way, I have to remember, Charnette, God is pleased with you,
mm,
even when you're not. Jen, God is pleased with you,
mm,
even when you're not. Even
mm,
when you're not. The past 5 months, no business happened. And I felt a way about that. And it didn't happen because I wasn't well physically. And I felt a way. And I'm trying to work and trying to get more clients and trying to promote and market stuff. And it wasn't working because I couldn't do anything. I just had to say, you know what, Charnette? Just chill. God is still pleased with you. And as long as you're doing what he's called you to do, everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. And so I just got to be gentle. We just got to be gentle. Like, we need that grace. We need to give ourselves grace. And it gives us peace, knowing that, hey, I gave it all I got. And we're going to see what happened. And I'm not the see what happened type of girl. I'm not. I'm going to make this thing happen. I'm not the see what happens. In every area of my life, we're not going to see what happens.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
but in some areas, I just have to, as long as I give it all I got, we're going to see how this thing plays out and we're going to adjust. And so that's how I deal with that.
Now, friends, I said I was a crybaby, but she really about to get me in my little emotions a little bit here, because to know that God is pleased, sometimes we got to remember that, you know? We got to be reminded of that. And that piece of being gentle with yourself. Because if you're making progress, if you're moving, it's still progress. I saw this post. I'm gonna try to find it for a second. Just before a little earlier today, and it said, no matter how bad things go, you're still way ahead of everyone who isn't even trying.
Right.
And so many times we feel like, but I should be further along. You are right at the part where you should be. And so many times we want to rush it. We can't rush it. We can't rush the turkey in the oven. You got to let that thing do what it's going to do. Instead of when it come off, it's falling off the bone and it's moist and it's seasoned just as it should be. But the prep that went into it made it good. So the prep that you're doing is going to make it work out good. You just got to trust the process and be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Handle with care, because God is pleased.
He is. We forget that. We forget that he's pleased with us because we've been taught and ingrained that or indoctrinated that he's mad all the time because we're sinful. But he's filled with nothing but love. He's filled with, and he shows us that love, and he's pleased every step of the way because we look like him.
Yes.
We look like Christ. And so how can he be disappointed in something that came from him, literally? So yeah, he's pleased. And everybody on here watching, he's pleased with you. He's pleased with you. Even when you feel like you messed up. Pick yourself up. Repent if you gotta repent. Dust yourself off. Restore yourself. We wait for people to restore us. No. Go to God and say, God, I need to be restored. And get right back in the game.
Yes.
Get right back in it. Yeah.
Donnie McClurkin said, we fall down, but we get up. So you get back up.
Get back
You
up.
get back in the game.
Back up and put some lip gloss on.
Yes.
Go get a haircut and bed.
You know, it's the little things that can brighten up your day. The simple thing of washing your face, you know, whatever was on got to go. And then you say, I can see clearly now. It's like wiping whatever fog you had on your eyes. So it's the little things.
Listen, me and Charlene drove back from Georgia last night. We drove overnight. And we came from a funeral. I had a face full of makeup on. When I got home, because I had all this eyeshadow on, which is fine, but something happened to where it got all in my eye. And I started to get pink eye. And so I took my contacts out, soaked them. When I woke up this morning, because I don't have any eye drops, I woke up, Holy Spirit said, just go wash your eye. Just go wipe it out. Don't put no soap in it. Just take some warm water and wipe it. Pink eye gone. Sometimes you just got to wash off what was there. Like you said, you just got to wash it off.
Let's pause there for a second too, because you said, because you use the terminology everybody don't know, because I don't always know if everybody know about Jesus and things like that. So you said Holy Spirit told you to do something, right? And I often get in conversation with non-believers, and they be like, something told me, or I felt like I should have. Friends, that's Jesus' partner, the Holy Spirit, that's trying to help you to stay out of some trouble. If they saying, sunshine, don't go there, don't do that, move back, it can be saving your life if you just heed to that voice. It's the
Yes.
simple instructions that you get too. The simple of wipe your eyes, just water.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, I guess, the ancestors that tell you how to put the seasoning, whatever you want to use, whatever.
I mean,
However, you listen to it. It's like an unction that you have. It says, "Ooh, stop! Ooh, don't go that
mm-hmm.
way home.
Mm-hmm.
Go check your door and make sure it's locked.
Yeah.
Okay? Up, that person is following you. Turn this way, go that way. You
Yes.
know." So that is that unction that we're talking about.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
saved the eye. God is concerned about the little things. He saved the eye. He saved the eye. Mm.
And that's my twin, and she know
Yes.
how my eyes are so sensitive, and I will have pink eye in a heartbeat.
Mm.
But he said, just go wipe your eye with warm water. That's all you
Mm.
gotta do. And the voice of Holy Spirit is the catalyst
Mm.
to where I am,
Mm.
how I am,
Mm.
and cast your vision and all vision and everything pertaining to my life over the past 13 years have been because I hear the voice of God
Mm-hmm.
by way of Holy Spirit. And so his voice is the most important voice in my life. I don't
Mm.
know where I would be.
Mm.
If I couldn't hear,
Uh,
if I forget seeing, if I
right.
couldn't hear God.
Mm-hmm.
Now seeing is important to my life, but if I couldn't hear his voice
Mm.
leading me and guiding me and warning me,
Mm.
I don't know, sis.
Okay. And pre-warning you, I was in a couple of situations recently, and God like told me this is what's going to happen. And I'm like, come on, God, why we got to play these games and things of that sort? And He's preparing me, and then it happened. I was like, can't get upset, y'all. We already told me it was happening. Then something else. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What you doing to me, Jesus? But the preparation that he gives you, the foresight that he gives you is such. And again, if he's not speaking to you, he uses other people, friends. So if you ain't got that connection yet, or you're not sure about that connection, because it's sometimes that he'll tell you something and you're second guessing. But then you'll come in contact with somebody else, random, not random, and they'll confirm. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
let me listen.
yeah, because his voice isn't just for the prophet,
Mm-hmm.
because we all have Holy Spirit
Mm-hmm.
and we're all prophetic.
Mm.
It says in
Oh,
Revelation, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy.
yes.
We have his spirit, and so his voice is for all of us.
All of us.
All
All
of
of
us.
us. Mm.
My niece, who was 5, his voice was for her too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the little things. It's the
Mhm.
little things.
Mhm.
Is Cast Your Vision your first book?
It's not. It's my fourth.
Also, what's your first, second, third?
So my first book was a book of poem slash spoken word called Heart
Mm-hmm.
Impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And my second one was Into the Cloud. And that book was about my journey in the just living practically in the presence and how he
Mm-hmm.
healed me from striving, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
My third book was a workbook to Into the Cloud called Into the Deep.
Mm.
That's deep, honey. And
Yeah.
so it's not my stuff, it's your stuff. And so
Mm.
it's a journal style workbook where you just navigate through your stuff
Mm-hmm.
based off of your life. And then we have Cast Your Vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working on my fifth.
Come
I'm
on.
working on my fifth and I'm working on the ebook.
Mm.
So they're all ebooks, but this one is just going to be an ebook. But my fifth is going to be a book. It's going to be major, 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 really shift.
Yes.
It's really going to shift the culture of Christianity.
Mm. They not ready already.
No, I'm not. I wasn't ready. That's why I wasn't ready when I started writing it, and I had to take a break. That's how I
Mm.
know with God when it forces me to take a break and take
Mm-hmm.
a step back because I didn't have. Usually, when I write, I've gone through it,
Mm-hmm.
so I have it all. I have the knowledge, the understanding, the
Mm.
peace, the instruction. I'm writing this while I'm in it,
Mm.
and so it's been difficult, but it's really going to shift. People are going to look at me like, "What are you? What is
Mm.
what?" But hopefully, I'll be done by the end of the year. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Mm. Friends, Move with the Cloud. I can't wait to read it either, Jessica. We gotta get that one. That Into the Deep sounds like it's good too, because anything that's really helping us to go inside and really work out our own junk.
Mm-hmm.
Because we quick to see other people junk, but we got some junk going on ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And it's not until we can deal with our junk that we can really help somebody. Well, we want to acknowledge our junk,
right,
to be able to help somebody else with their junk.
right.
Because I can't always be helping somebody else and forgetting about all the stuff I got going on. No, I gotta daily be working on me, because
right,
I'm daily trying to help somebody else.
right. And
Because I hear a lot of people's stuff.
I know you do. I know you do. Into the Deep, it pulls back layers.
Mm.
And if you're not ready to deal with your
Mm.
layers, then there's a bunch of scripture in there. There's a bunch of scenarios in it. There's a bunch of stuff, and it's just pulling back layers of. I've gotten a lot of feedback from men
Mm-hmm.
from Into the Deep, because men don't they're not they don't talk like we do,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
will write.
Yeah.
And so they've given me a lot of feedback about that book, and so it's been an amazing tool.
That's interesting you said that. I'm always seeing someone that ties into something. A young lady, she's a therapist, and she was sharing how it would be beneficial for men to deal with some emotional things and express some things. But some people didn't like it, and she ended up getting fired from her job. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? But we all need to deal with our emotional things, because if not, that one thing ticks us off, and we're doing something that's harming somebody else or harming ourselves. So, friends, we
Yeah,
may not want to deal with the layers, but we got to deal with those layers before those layers hurt somebody else, cut somebody else,
absolutely,
harm somebody else, turn somebody
absolutely,
else off. A lot of things happen in
absolutely.
life, and I don't want to be a disappointment to myself, but I also don't want to be a disappointment to God where I present Him in the wrong way. You're not gonna say,
Mm.
"Oh, she knows Jesus and she doing that." She knows Jesus and she human. She trying to do better. But I'm also gonna be conscious of what I'm doing, because they said if it offends, you want to cut that off so that you're not doing it.
Right, right. You don't want to call
Friends,
somebody else's stubble.
you have to get peeled.
Mm.
You can't eat the orange unless you peel that the skin
Bad,
off.
bad,
You can't eat the banana unless you pull that skin off. I mean, if you want to eat the skin, you go ahead.
bad it.
I'll eat the skin of the apple. I'll eat the skin of the grape, the plum, but maybe not that orange. Maybe not even that kiwi, friends. I don't want to. Not even a watermelon. You gotta peel it back. A watermelon is good, but not till you cut that thing up and get on
Right,
the inside,
right,
and then
right.
let them seeds go so they don't get you messed up too. Okay. All right. So what is Cash Division about?
So, Catch Your Vision it's a book to help people see. It's a book to help people get to a place
Mm-hmm.
where they're decluttered enough
Mm.
to see. I'm not teaching you how to see. I'm teaching you how to get to a point where you can see.
Mm.
And this book it was an amazing. So I wrote it in 5 days. I wrote it in 5 days because I wanted to push a vision, but I also wanted to put a package together for people to see that you can write a book in 5 days and you can teach it
Mm.
and monetize it in that way.
Mm.
And so it was really, it was a whole big vision. And it really launched the School of Vision, which is a 9 module course.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, but I'm live. Well, I'm not live because it's pre-recorded, but
Okay.
I'm talking about vision. 9 modules,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 35 to 45 minutes each, just talking about vision, just
Mm-hmm.
pumping
Mm-hmm.
people with vision and tools. And so that's what Cast Your Vision is. It's just
Mm.
a tool. It's just a tool. Eventually, through the prophetic ministry,
Mm-hmm.
I'll teach people how to see,
Mm.
how to really position yourself to see. This book, I deal with Habakkuk, the scripture Habakkuk 2, cast your
Mm-hmm.
vision and explain,
Yeah.
but I dealt with Habakkuk 1 because
Mm.
before he had the vision to cast, he said, I'm going to go up on a watchtower. I'm paraphrasing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to go up on a watchtower and
Yes.
see what God said.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order for him to cast the vision, he had to see what God said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is about. That's what this is about, seeing what God is saying. And God has just allowed me to see.
Mm.
I'm just a seer. The
Mm-hmm.
Old Testament, they called it seers. I'm just a seer. I
Mm-hmm.
see,
Yes.
and I'm unapologetic about it. I'm
Yes.
that girl who sees. And don't let me see into your life. It's a wrap. I don't care how you if you receive it or not. I don't care what I don't care. I'm that girl
Mm-hmm.
because God has put a mandate on my life to make sure that whoever can't see,
Can
they'll be
see.
able to navigate through their life to get to where they need to be.
Mm.
And so that's what Cast Your Vision is.
I love it. And so, like, this month's theme is I'm an author. So I pulled in some authors to share about books that they wrote, and I picked out um, the book that stood out the most. And a lot of times with that cast your vision, we don't cast it because we don't see it. You know, the Bible says write the vision, make it plain, but we scared to write it because it seems too big. And there's some
Mhm.
things that we are destined to do that we're like, maybe I can't do that. You is that really for me? I mean, I think I heard some confirmations, but you sure? Like, is it possible? And a lot of times we don't have the faith in the one who said it
Right.
to be able to do that which we're called to do.
Right. And so what I had to do was I had to, and this is what prompted the book. So I wrote the book last year, and last year I had to gather my closest people who I'm like I'm the apostle, and so I'm like their apostle. And so I had to gather them together. The Lord said, gather them together and cast vision for the next 5 to 10 years. And so we got on a Zoom call. It was probably about 8 or 10 of us, maybe not that many, but we got on a Zoom call and everybody laid out their vision for the next 5 to 10 years. And because we're all prophetic, we all prophesied into every single piece of every person's vision. And so that really set the stage for what we're all doing right now. Literally, I can text somebody now and say, hey, are you still aligned? And if they say no, we need to go back and revisit and see where you're getting stuck at. But I really just had to gather them together because I felt if we're all not moving nowhere, why are we connected? What
Pause. Pause. If we're all not moving, why are we connected?
why? What's our purpose of being connected if we're
Mm.
not all moving and making moves? We don't all have to make boss moves, but what are you doing for the kingdom? Are you clear about what God is saying? And I just took on that responsibility to make sure that if you're supposed to be in school, let's speak into that
Mm.
part to see
Mm.
what direction you're supposed to go. If you're supposed to do missionary work, let's speak into that. If you're
Yes.
supposed to be a pastor, let's speak into that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
let's get the ball because we have the um capability, our words carry life or death. So we have
Yes.
the capability to literally speak life and shift people,
Mm.
shift seasons, and shift
Yes.
certain
Yes.
situations. And so why not? Why
Mm.
not? And so that's what this came from, honestly. Cast Your Vision. I just took pieces of that and what it took to get that together and how that impacted my life. I can't speak for them, but it
Mm-hmm.
impacted my life tremendously,
Yes. Mm.
tremendously.
And it's so important to be mindful of our goals. We
Yes.
are in the second half of the year, and there's some things we said we were going to do in Jan. You know what? Let me go back. There's some things we said we was going to do last year
Mm-hmm.
that got pushed to December 31st, and we said no. This is the year it's going to happen. It's going to happen in 2022, and we
Mm-hmm.
are now August 22nd, and we ain't put a dent in some of it.
Not right.
I said I was gonna start doing this, and we still didn't do it yet. But guess what, friends? It's still time.
It's still time.
There is still time to do whatever it is. And you got to be able to write those goals. You know, in the therapy world, we do SMART goals because it has to be simple, it has to be measurable, it has to be um, achievable, you
Mm-hmm.
know, realistic, and it has to have a timetable.
Mm-hmm.
However, as she shared, if I'm making progress towards the goal and I have to push the deadline back, why? Because life happens, life be lifing.
Yep.
So things have to be adjusted,
Yeah.
but there's still time. But we gotta at least make some progress in doing something.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, if
Yes.
it's just writing a list, and
Do
a
it.
lot of do it. A lot of times we don't take the time. We don't take the time to invest in us like we invest in other people sometimes. We want to help everybody else, and I've been guilty of it, helping push everybody else's vision. But Jennifer, what's your vision? What did you cast for yourself? You need to do those things too, you know? Um, and we got to remember that our things are just as important as somebody else's. We have to take that time to do that. It was a day I was supposed to do something, it got canceled. I was like, well, I'm not going to say I could go to all these other things because they got canceled. I feel like I had a free day. I had to take a moment for Jennifer
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be so spread out that you're spreading thin. You want
Yeah.
to be a balanced spread out. And you
Yeah.
want to be a balanced spread out for yourself too.
Yeah. I'm the queen of spreading myself too thin. I'm the queen of it, and I had to learn that there's not necessarily a balance.
Mm,
If there was a balance, we would find it.
right, right.
So I had to make sure that everything that I was planting
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
was A, from God,
Mm,
and B, planted in the right season. So
mm.
no matter what happened, I'll always
Yes.
yield fruit.
Mm. Always.
Because the Bible says, be fruitful, be
Mm-hmm.
full of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I'm planting everything, one of my exes said, just throw some things at the wall and see what sticks.
Oh goodness,
And
yes.
so, and that gripped me because at the time I had so much going on, I was afraid to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started throwing stuff. I just started
Yes.
painting everything. I launched a website. I did a nonprofit. I had got
Mm-hmm.
my LLC. I started
Mm-hmm.
a school of business. I mean, a school of vision. I have network programs for
Yeah.
people. I just threw everything out there. And in that season, it's going to yield me the fruit that I need. And so
Yes.
my only kind of balancing act is, Charnette, when do you rest?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
my problem right now.
Yes.
Is finding a rest and not it trying to find me. Because when it finds me, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. She said, baby, and I'm the queen of taking my moments. I get it. But look, you gotta take a moment because life be life and
It
for
be
sure,
life.
you know. And when
Yeah.
and when I say balance, I want to share how, they say like in relationships it's 50-50. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not really realistic. Because sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 100-100. And that balance is today I might need to focus more on one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow I might have to focus on nothing.
Right.
Another day I might have to focus on 50, 11 million different things. But you're working it out so that you're still getting the things that you got to get done. Because, friends, if you get behind, I got in my head. They told me that I have some ways of a culture. I'm not going to share what the culture is because I don't want to do no shade of things. But I got a lot of hustles because they say you're supposed to have different streams of things. But on one of the projects, I got in my head because I felt like I did another part of the project a little bit better. I was like, they need to give me more of this one than this one. So I got in my own head to jinx myself, mess myself up. And it's like, Jennifer, come on, you got like 4 more you got to do now. You still didn't do that one. I was like, all right, I'm just going to knock it out. And the part that made me feel like it was going to be so long, so I do some profiles for children that want to be adopted and things, and families that want to be do adoption. And in the child profile, it's a little bit longer sometimes than the family profile. Family profile, knock it out. I'm like, look, that's the one you want me to do. I'm gonna have that done in no time. But the child profile takes a little bit more. You gotta reach out to a little bit more people because it's a child. You gotta reach to some adults to get some information. But the part that was holding me up, because it was like 40 some pages, I was like, I can't do this. I'm never gonna get it done. And then I looked at it, I was like, Jennifer, you had everything you needed to do it, but you was getting in your head.
Mm.
And sometimes in our balance, we too much in our head. But once we get out, we like, oh, we found the groove. So
Yes.
again, and that balance is the balance that's on the surfboard. I don't know how to surf. I don't know if I ever try it. It's sharks out there, and I ain't about that life. However, that balance is like trying to go with them waves, and
Yeah.
sometimes those waves can overtake you. But friends, find your groove. Don't get in
Fine.
your head. Talk to somebody to help you get out of your head so you can do whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, so this is another part that I love of your story because you have a publishing group
I do.
company. How did that come about?
So, oh my goodness. So my very first project, wanted to publish it because I needed to get it out of my head,
Mm-hmm.
out of my heart. And so I wanted to publish it, and I went with I talked to some people, and they led me to this person.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed like a great guy. He had his own little publishing company. I know, Charlene, I know
I love Twin. Come on, Lord.
that.
Only because this
and
story is going to encourage somebody else. We got to
yeah,
talk about it.
and so I think we was probably like a year in, and I still didn't have anything to show. I think I paid like $1,050,
Mm,
and he was going through some things. He made sure he told me that after I was hounding him. But by that time, it was like a year and a half. And I said, listen, I don't have a book. So I need to cancel. I need to terminate my contract and
mm-hmm.
figure something else out. And so he was like, no, don't do that. We'll get it done. I said, it's been too long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I terminated my contract, and my spiritual mother, well, she wasn't my spiritual mother then. It's crazy how that happened, but she was just sis, Martina. She was like, let me publish your book. And I said, okay. And so she published the book. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
After she published the book, in the interim, I had written my second and third book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was ready to publish them. And I went to her. I said, hey, I'm ready to publish these books. Let's get it done. And she said, oh, don't worry. I'll get to it. You're like next in my pipeline. But I didn't know what that meant. So a year went by.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I got to get these books done. So I just researched the process.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at I looked at certain information that she had in the book that she published for me, and I researched what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
And I researched the whole self-publishing process, and I had to. One of the things that I stress to people is that sometimes you have to become what you need, and I had to become what I needed. I needed a publisher, and I became a publisher. I was self-publishing for my own self, and I said, well, I'm just gonna publish my own books. And then I said, oh, you can make a couple coins. So I said, let me do it for people. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got good at it. I said, let me up my prices. And then I got really good at it.
Yes.
Let me do a whole situation. Let me be a publishing house
Mm-hmm.
to where we publish books, we do ebooks. I have my own graphic designer, I have my own editor. We do
Yes.
websites, we do ghostwriting. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to ghostwrite a whole play. Like
Yes.
we're doing it all. And so I had to literally become what I needed. And sometimes people just aren't aware of that. I need something. I need a graphic designer. So I would never research this stuff because I have one. But just say I didn't have one. Let me
Mm-hmm.
research this. Let me research
Yes.
Adobe. Let me
Yes.
research other platforms or softwares
Yes.
that they use and be what I need.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I really wanted to wear makeup. I didn't know how
Mm-hmm.
to do it. So let me research it. Let me be my own
Yes.
makeup
Yes.
artist. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have to
You do
pay somebody.
fabulous. You do
Thank you, sis.
fabulous.
So you got to become what you need, whatever it is. Some things you're gonna have to outsource, but become what you need.
Yes.
We are our best resource.
Mm,
We are our best resource. Period.
mm.
No matter what it is.
Friends. I was talking to somebody and it was like, since you started Jen Care, it's like you've been like doing like the creation thing, that sort. Because in my mind, my vision, one, my name was on the line, you doing it, you're gonna do this right. Because a lot of people going live, no shade, but how I wanted to present was how I wanted to present. So like I was like looking at like when I first started, how my images and things look, and like now where I've come to, now I'm like, you're doing that. And it's just like, an idea comes to mind and then you create it and hope that it works out, how you need to be. So then a brand extraordinaire, PJ Owens, he'll be like, oh, that was nice. I was like, now if you telling me I did good, okay. So then I did something the other day. He was like, so did you do that? Or did you, I share my way of creating, how I create things. That sort, sometimes you see something that inspires, sometimes you see something you recreate from it and things of that sort. But I said, and then I was like, wait, I'm not going to dumb down my creativity because she's still doing something to pull us together because everybody still can't do it. Somebody was like, so you going to do a class? I was like, whew. I was like, I probably could do a class because so many people want to do these things, right? But the simple things and how you can expand on that, but it goes back to you becoming what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You got to become what you need. And sometimes you do have the capabilities. And then sometimes it is that you want to outsource. I did the nonprofit with Dr. Park. He was like, sometimes you want to pay for peace. Absolutely, because I don't know how to do all that. And it's some processes that take just a little bit too much. I love all y'all that can bake from scratch. God bless. But I might go get me a cake from Giant, the bakery, or something like that and call it a day, And if I'm feeling funky, I go to Outback and get my carrot cake because that slice is real nice, You outsource. Because to make a carrot cake, come on, to make a carrot cake, that's a couple of different things you gotta do. One,
it is.
It's too hot right now to turn on anybody's oven. God bless. They already got it made in somebody's bakery. I'm gonna go get it. So knowing when you need to outsource and knowing when you can do it yourself. You sharing how like you're making things that store. My other thing is my hair. So I put it together. They was like, you always change. I was like, yeah, I'm in YouTube or I'll see something I'm inspired and I make it happen. Now my barber does the cuts. I have done cuts before. But it's also nice to treat yourself. So I'll go and let him cut it up and things that sort. He has a blast because he does different things. But then the other parts I do. Why? Because it brings me joy. It's my self-care moment. It's me beautifying myself. Because then if something go wrong, I can fix it.
Right.
I go to somebody else. I'm like, now how did they get that? Okay. But again, I know that's not everybody's cup of tea where you do your own hair. That's not, you might not become what you need for that. Or you might go get a wig.
Right.
Ain't nobody hating on that. It's a little hot right now for a wig too, but if that's you, God bless, I can't do it. But becoming what you need, friends, or finding somebody that can do it for you.
Right.
And not being afraid to ask for help. We talked about that last week because there are some things we can't do.
Right.
There are some things we can't do, and it's okay.
Yeah.
We're human. We're not able to do everything.
Right.
But those things we can do, we can do. Now, again, friends, if y'all want to make a cake when the weather breaks, y'all let me know. I'll come taste test. God bless. Oh, goodness. So, another question. Why did you want to write a book? Like, was that something you always saw yourself doing?
No, it wasn't. I was in, the twin prophets. What are they? Naeem and I forget their names. So back in 2015, Charlene and I and a good girlfriend of ours, we went to a conference, and in the conference, Spirit of God was just over me, just hovering, and He said to me, "And you're going to write a book." And I said, okay. I mean, I've never written a book. My book of poetry was already written. And He said, and you're going to call it Into the Cloud. And once I started writing it, I had to stop because I didn't think I knew what I was doing. And I asked someone, could you help me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And this person never responded. He never helped me. And so I just had to trust God. And He said, I need you to just write about what you've been through and how you came out of it with me. And once I found out that I can just write freely and tell my story the way that I want to tell it. And I realized that there's power in my testimony. There's power in our testimonies. I mean, I used to do my spoken word, and it was all about my life, and just watch a room just shift because of the power that's in it, the overcoming power, because we overcome by the word of our testimony. And so, and the blood of the lamb. And so I never saw myself writing. I never aspired to be a writer. I never aspired to be anything growing up. I didn't have dreams because no one told me I could dream. No one told me I could be something. So I never wanted to be anything. Life was just life, and I just went through life, and it happened to me. And so once I realized I could dream and I'm in control of this thing, God is in control, but my life is going to go how I want it to go. If I want to start a business, I'm going to start every business I can. I'm going to design clothes. I'm going to have a boutique. I'm going to have a makeup line. I'm going to have a self. I'm going to have all the businesses that I can have.
Yes.
And so writing books was never a part of that. It's just something that God said, oh, I know the plans that I have for you. And these plans you're going to live off of these plans. You're going to live off of the money you make from these books. And so all I need is just one book. When we're writing, it's about the people, it's about helping, but it's also about the money. Now, I don't make money off my books on Amazon. Lord, help me.
Amazon
However,
makes the money.
listen, however, all I need is one book to get in the hands of the right
Right
person.
person.
And so, and that's why these next 3 books are crucial, because all of them are from God, but these ones are very critical. And so, no, I never wanted to become an author, but it's just something that God knew was in me. He knew it was in me. So it was going to come out.
Friends, again, the theme is I'm an author, but I know everybody may not want to be an author.
Yeah.
But the piece of other authors that they got their story out there, they encourage somebody else. And I know for sure when I die, I want to die empty, knowing that I gave everything that I had to this world. So writing a book may be out of the budget. I get it. But what are you doing of giving of yourself, of sharing of your story to help somebody else? I share time and time again, like with going live. Some people like, some people share, some people don't. That's cool. Some people watch, some people don't. That's cool. However, those that do tune in, sometimes they get in a conversation with somebody else about something that was shared. That's going far and beyond what I can even do. You
Yeah.
know? So being able to share your story, you can encourage somebody else. I've heard enough stories because one, again, I don't want to keep on messing up. I want to be able to learn from some other people's stories sometimes because messing up, that fall down sometimes it hurt. Okay.
Yes.
If I don't have to fall down, if I can hear from you, like, oh no, I picked the wrong person. I picked the wrong designer. Last week we talked about that. So what can I do to make sure I don't pick the wrong designer where they mess me up, get me hemmed up in the corner where I got it right out,
Right.
So whatever it is to be able to share your story, that's what I want to encourage us to do. If you want to write, check in with her, see what that process looks like. It's an ebook. And let me talk about ebooks. Ebooks are nice because it's not a physical book in your hand.
Right.
Now, if you're on Amazon, they still try to get all your coins, but there's other ways that you can get the book downloaded and things because it'll be a digital link where it goes straight to the person and things of that sort. You don't have to worry about, the other world taking your coins and things of that sort. But it also doesn't mean it's not possible if that was a dream of yours to do.
Right. Right. And I think a lot of people get so caught up on how much things cost. They get caught up on because money answers all things.
Yep.
And so we get caught up on how much it costs. And you'll be surprised at how many people inbox me or reach out to me and they're like, all right, how much is this? And I'm like, this is how much it is. And it's, I'm not expensive because I'm not expensive yet.
Oh, then let me talk to you after.
Now my stock's gonna increase because I had a couple number ones.
Yes.
And I'm still trying to preserve the pricing for people who aren't quite ready yet. But there's different options. for
They
everything,
are.
and especially for
Yes.
me. We have payment plans, we got stuff. And so people get caught up on that. But if it's God's will, it's his
Mm-hmm.
bill. That's what the old folks said. If
Mm-hmm.
it's God's will, it's his bill. And I am a believer of that. I think right now, what God really wants us to grab a hold of again is
Mm-hmm.
our hope that
Yes.
he's still doing good things for us.
Mm.
That's all our hope is.
Mm.
The hope that God is going to do something good.
Mm.
And he is good. So why wouldn't he do anything good for us? Why wouldn't he?
Why
And
wouldn't he?
even if that means covering, he may put on someone's heart to waive the fee, to
Mm-hmm.
do it for free.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. I just hate that people get caught up on pricing it, you
Right.
know, especially if we're people of faith,
Mm.
you know?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Jessica said you're worth every penny, and that's the other part too. Like we joke around saying how, oh, you got a special, or your price didn't go up yet, because tomorrow be like, ooh, my prices went up, and things that
Hmm.
sort. But knowing that skill that you have, it
Yeah.
took time to research to get those pieces together.
Yeah.
There's some people that was taking a year to help you get it together and not really get it together, but you're more on top of it and things that sort. And that part of paying for peace, if you don't know how to do it, it's best to have somebody that does know what they're doing to be able to guide you through the process. Excuse me, because you'd hate to waste more money
Right.
messing up when you could have
Right.
went to somebody that could have took you right to the bank and things of that sort.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, sometimes it is, you're making a profit thing. Sometimes not necessarily, even in me reflecting on this planner journal that I'm working on, I know how I want it. So if the deadline gets pushed back a couple of weeks, it will be because I want it to be how it's supposed to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's the progress towards it. As long as it's here before December, because you need it for January, it's going to carry you through
Right.
the year, friends.
Right.
But, being mindful, yeah, being
Yeah.
mindful.
Yeah.
And we knock projects out fast. See, you
We
know
do.
what?
We do. Thank you, twin.
Look,
She can
and that's
support
the
you.
thing too, because if you are getting your money's worth, you're being respected, you're getting supported in questions that you have and things of that sort, you kind of want to go back to them people, right? It's some
Yeah.
restaurants that they did you right. The service was just
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
go to this place called Redstone. I love them. They got these buffalo shrimp. They nice. They wings is nice too. They got this cornbread. All right, let me not go there. But what happens is when you go, though you have a server, other servers are checking in with you to make sure that you're good. Another
Hmm.
server, oh, let me get this for you. And when you have quality service and a good meal, yeah, I want to come back and spend my money, because
Right.
it's worth it. And that's in
Right.
services too. And sometimes we want that sister girl hookup. We want that. But the person that you're connecting with is worthy of their hire. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we're expecting these discounts that we wouldn't give ourselves.
Right. Right. And we expecting discounts that we wouldn't go to our Caucasian brothers and sisters and ask them for.
Come on.
So put some respect on my business.
They probably didn't give it to us, but God bless. Because they see the mindset of this to pay my bills. Because me being
Absolutely.
nice is still not going to make sure this light stay on.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's not going
Right.
to make sure that the air going to keep me cool because it's been hot, friends. Now, God can make a way. We'll be obedient. Yes, He opens up another door. I'm not saying it. But I can't let so many people just go. It's like I
Right.
have a desire to have something. I'm not gonna say what it is. I already talked to God about it, so He the one that got to know about it, right? Y'all just say we stand in agreement with you, right?
Hmm.
But I'm like, how can I put somebody else's name on it? Because I don't want people to know that it's me. Because then they can be like, oh, what can I get it? No,
Yeah. Yeah.
bills still got to get paid.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
sometimes that you can give stuff away. It's sometimes that you can do like that. Uh, I can't think of what it is. Like when you go to the Goodwill, they give you that little card, so you get credit for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but not all the time. And friends, let's not expect that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Let's
you so
invest.
much.
Yeah, right. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk. Let's
Yes,
invest. Let's invest in ourselves.
just a
because
little bit.
because truth be told, I had to invest before I launched my website. There was a course from a young lady who I said I have to have it. Now she making bread because she's a well of information. I mean, she's
Hmm.
teaching. She's teaching at Apostle so and so church and Apostle so and so. Like they call on
Mm-hmm.
her to come and pick
Yes.
up them. And
Yes.
so her course it wasn't cheap. It was probably about $700. And
Mm-hmm.
when I got it, I paid for it. And when I got the course, I said, "This is why
Mm-hmm.
it was $700.
Mm-hmm.
I needed it and didn't know that I needed it like that." And that course really pushed me into my next,
Mm-hmm.
whatever my next was after that. It really pushed me to do the website. It pushed me to put packages together. It pushed me to do a lot. And so you don't
Yes.
know what you need until you really need it or until you really get it. But
Mm-hmm.
you gotta invest in yourself.
You
You got
have to. You know, you go to school and then you finish, but things change since you went to school. So they have certifications that you do to help you stay
mhm.
up in knowledge and things of that sort. And sometimes we're like, oh, I got it. And YouTube is amazing. I ain't knocking it. I've learned a lot from YouTube. But getting a certification ain't too bad every so often. Learning a
Yeah.
new skill isn't too bad, you know. I went to school for therapy and things of that sort, but recently did a program that's geared towards premarital counseling. It's an assessment that you take, and then it breaks down your answers. Having another skill under your belt helps
Right.
because
Right.
sometimes people come here like, I don't even know what I'm going to do because they got too much going on. Look, let's do this. And let's process
Mhm.
through this to help you have focus and organization and a plan in place
Yeah.
because that's what you want to have. Jessica, let's talk about this for a second. Jessica said, you should want to invest and support them because it's your friend. But can we pause for the cause? Because just because they your friend, don't mean that they gonna support you. I just gotta be honest. Don't mean that they gonna invest in you. I have some amazing people in my life that do, but not all of them, and it's okay
It's okay.
because I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Some people like coffee. I don't like coffee. I don't like the smell.
Right.
You know, I might even give you some hot chocolate with a marshmallow and things of that sort. It's different seasons. You know,
It's
when you're
real.
needed, they reach out and they tune in and they check in and they give what they need. But unfortunately, sometimes your friend won't do it. But how you can support your friend, even if you're not financially supporting your friend, you can share, you can like, you can promote what it is that they're doing. Why? Because it's 6 degrees of separation. Somebody on your timeline will say, "What? Char doing what?
Right.
Oh, what's this book about?"
Right.
Or they might just see the picture like, "Oh, what's she doing? Her hair is cute. Okay, what
Right.
else is going on?" Whatever attracts them to it.
Right.
So that's how you can support them. But again, that may happen, it may not happen, but keep your head up because those people that do need to hear it will hear it and will get what they need. But I just want to put that out there
Absolutely.
that they may or may not. And it's
And
okay.
and here's the thing. Sometimes the people closest to us don't see the value because they're close to us. In the New Testament, Jesus said, "I couldn't do many miracles in my hometown."
Mm-hmm.
They didn't see the value because they thought they knew him. They
Come on.
thought that, they were so what's the word? We get so
Whew.
comfortable and
Yes.
familiar with people
Yes.
that they don't see the value. And that's fine. It takes a gen, it
Yeah.
takes someone else to see
Mm-hmm.
value in
Mm-hmm.
something that because they see it all the time.
Yes, yes. And you know, when you said that, it gave me some other revelation on that too of
Mhm.
like him being amongst people like Mary and Joseph, baby. They ain't even really Joseph, baby. Mary,
Right,
how she really get pregnant? So in their mind, they have all these different things, and they
right,
can't see you for what you are because
right,
they're blinded by something that was a facade. The
right,
veil is going, sunshines.
right.
You can enter for yourself. You know, he trying to help you out, but you caught up in the wrong thing. You keep the main thing, friends.
Right.
But again, it does take somebody else sometimes. And again is my word, I guess. But they may not take you, but you keep on going forth because someone will come along. Because like I could
Mhm.
be saying something to you all the time, Shar, and then somebody else, Jessica, come along and say something to you. Like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I'm sitting there like,
I just said that.
I just said that.
Like,
I said the wheels on the bus go round and round. And she said round and round the wheels on the bus go. It was like, oh, that was good. That was deep. That was what? And guess what? Maturity in you teaches you. You're right.
hmm
Be blessed.
Right, right,
Have a good day.
right.
Because as long as they got it,
That's it.
as
That's
long as they
it.
got it.
And it'll always double back. So
Mm-hmm.
someone else will see the value and then
Yes.
everybody will see it. It
Everybody will
it
see it.
always happens that way. Like someone came up to me and said, I was at a conference with my spiritual mother, and she said, "Now I've been in business since 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I post a flyer, everybody's like, oh, congratulations, like it's something new, but that's fine." And
Yes.
she came up to me and she said, "Oh, I've been watching you,
Mm.
and I've watched your business grow. So now I want to." She didn't see the value in it
Mm.
in 2017,
Mm.
but now that she lit,
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm
Mm-hmm.
lit,
Mm-hmm.
she sees the value in it, and that's fine. We still gonna make this coin. She's still gonna
Yes.
have a dope book.
Yes.
She's gonna refer me to other people, and so
Yes.
it's that whole thing, and that's totally fine. That's totally
Yes.
fine. But and I'm grateful to have um Jessica, because
Mm-hmm.
Jessica is a friend. She's a sister, and she supports every. I think she just bought every book that I'm. Everything she
Yeah.
supports everything that I do, and it's
Yes.
people like that that makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's close people like that that see value in it.
Yes.
But I don't expect that from people.
Mm.
I just do what I do. Post the content,
That's
sis.
it.
I just post
That's
it.
it. And it's so important in just posting it, whether you get the like or not. Why? Because people are looking. I get
Yep.
in the conversation like, I like what you're doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you. And that's how
Right.
you take it. Why? Because again, they don't have to comment, they don't have to like. But if you're consistent,
Yep.
if you remain
Yep.
consistent,
Yep.
after a while, again, the right person comes along. Or they
Yep.
see that you can stick to a thing.
Yep.
Even when it doesn't look like it's growing, even when you, whatever it look like, all that,
Yep.
they see you doing, it's like, hey, I got something for you to do it. And
Mhm.
sometimes God is testing you too. How long can you do this? Because I told you to do it. I didn't tell you to stop yet.
Mhm.
Now, I
That
be
part.
ready to quit all the time. Let me take the back. I really doing love Jen Cares. But when I did that conference, friends, I was like, this ain't even a fundraiser no more. Jesus, like, what happened? However, the amazing part is when you do what God told you to do, it's not about you. The people that
Right.
was blessed, the people that was encouraged, the people that were inspired, that's our mission. So the
Yeah.
job was done.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do events thinking that it's going to bring in this money, we about to get rich. Money
I
is not
don't.
always the part to make you rich.
Mm-mm.
That thing that gives you joy, knowing that you helped somebody else that was ready to give up, you
Yeah.
know, by you speaking up when God telling you to say something, you saving lives. So by you
Yeah.
doing whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, you're encouraging somebody else to keep on doing whatever they want to do. And it's hopefully encouraging you to keep on doing that vision that you have. Because why? You're casting that vision out.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Some.
grabbing hold, but guess what? If they ain't grabbing hold, they seen it when you're reeling that fish in. It's like,
Mhm.
ooh. And then when
Yep.
you throw it back out, they was like, oh,
Yep.
that was a big one. Oh, that was a small one. But she didn't give up. She's still going.
Yep. And
Believe in yourself.
then eventually they'll say,
Mm-hmm.
teach me how to cast. To cast means to throw violently. Teach
Yes.
me how to cast my vision, throw
Yes.
it out there violently. Teach me how to do that. I got you. We got you, sis. We got
Mm-hmm.
you, bro. We got you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Ah, what would be your words of wisdom to somebody that wants to write a book?
Just right.
Mm.
Just right. Because that's it. Writing a book requires one thing for you to write. Just write. I've learned that there's no right or wrong way to write a book, or write a story, or write a play or something. But you have to write. You'll organize it later. We'll help you organize it later, or we'll organize it later. But just write. Just write until your heart feels light.
Yes.
Because usually when people want to write, they have something on them that they need to
Mm-hmm.
get off. Write
Yes.
until your heart feels light. Um, write. That's it. Just write. No matter what you're writing, just write. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Just write.
And I'll say further, if the thought comes to mind, make sure you write it because you might forget it.
Yes.
It's too many things going on in the day. I pull out my phone, my little notepad and a heartbeat, voice memo, things of that sort to get it down so that you don't forget it. And like she said, you compile it later. Another key part is when you write, you know what you mean. We
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure your reader knows what you mean too.
Mm-hmm.
So the hope is
Yeah.
that you get an editor. But if you don't get an editor, that you let somebody else
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah.
Because your name is also on the line. I don't want you to be embarrassed where something goes out and it's like, I could have did better.
Yeah. Because that happens.
Yeah.
That happens. I've seen people who have written a book and they've gotten it published by someone else, and then they realized it was trash. They realized it was trash, and so they came to me to redo it, to help them
Mhm.
redo it, because of my reputation.
Mhm.
And so it's important that as a writer, and it's crazy because even though I write very well, when I write for God, if I was to go to enroll in a college and write an essay, it will be trash.
Mm.
Been there, done that.
Mhm.
That's why I didn't get my master's, because I'm a horrible writer for school.
Oh.
Crazy. I'm no. I'm fine. I've I'm fine. There's other ways to get certifications,
You're right. You're
and
right.
so I'm going to go get certifications for what I want to get certified
Mhm.
in. Because I want to be a counselor. I want to be like a
Yes.
yeah. I want to be always. But um, as long as we hit all those different points, there's different points, different things that we have to hit as writers. You know, just technical stuff.
Mhm.
But starting out, you don't know that.
Mhm.
You don't. When I started writing in 2015, I didn't know. Well, the book anyway. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Mm.
And so that's why it's great to hook up with somebody who knows. Hook up with,
Right.
you know, get a consultation.
Mhm.
I offer consultations,
Mhm.
and most of the time, even though it's on my website for whatever's on there for, I usually do them for free because
Mhm.
it's a consultation.
Right.
Um, and that way we can help you reel things in.
Right.
One of my programs that I absolutely love is for new authors, and it's an accountability program. And so you have me for 6 months, you have another consultant for 6 months from start to finish, from the time you want to start the book to publication. So that way you have your accountability, you have
Mhm.
instruction, you have direction. But right, right, because not everybody's a great writer. And even if you
Mhm.
don't write, I'm writing for someone now who's like, I
Mhm.
want to write a book, but I don't want to write. So write it for me.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yes.
And so it's so many things, avenues, so many different avenues that
Mhm.
writers can take. But if you want to just what did she say? Oh, Charlene.
You gotta
Yes, and
just what'd you
I'm
say?
charging my twin. And I'm charging my twin because
Oh.
it's business. Not writing for free.
Hilarious, hilarious.
It's business,
But it's
baby.
business, friends,
It's
and
business.
sometimes family get
Yeah.
charged too.
Yeah. And so just write. Just listen. We all got a story. Some
Yes.
people tell their stories by way of doing makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Some people tell their stories by way of doing hair.
Mm-hmm.
Some people tell their stories in so many different ways by preaching the gospel, whatever it is. Tell your story. This writing, just write.
Yes.
Just write.
Yes. And I'm paying too now. Twin, don't do it in Monopoly money. You make sure it's that. You make sure it's the real money. I saw. I'm gonna put this baby out here. I saw the video the other day. It was like they hired this model to do something, and they was doing prop money, but she
I
was
said,
picking it up like it was real. I said, "Oh, sunshine."
you
So
gotta
all
put
I'm
this in
saying
the
is,
bag.
give them the real money. Give them the real money,
Real money,
okay?
right?
Lord, buddy, what would you say has been your biggest lesson in the books that you have written, and the books to come? So, what's been your biggest thing that you learned from the experience that said, I didn't see this for myself, but I'm glad I did this.
I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is to give my it's a lot to give myself space to hone in on what I need to hone in the moment. And so not even with writing books, just in being a woman who's a follower of Christ, to give myself space and moments and to really appreciate those moments. In writing is always been there's a chapter in here that or a part in here, part 6 or 7, that talks about mind over matter. And that part in this book always reminds me to not get so consumed in what life situation or current human condition I'm in, even though sometimes it's overwhelming, but just to make sure that my mind is always in tune with what God wants for me. And that's hard sometimes, especially when you're going through something that's really tumultuous. I just came out of 6, 7 months of being unhealthy, and it was out of my control. And so even in that, I still had to say, all right, God, you're still good, and my hope is still in you, and you still love me, and you're still talking to me, and you're still showing me things. And I really have to put that mind, let this mind that was in Christ be
Yes.
over the matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's tough for me. That's always been an issue. But I feel like this time, because God, he warned me that I was coming up on a season that was emotionally difficult.
Mm.
And I really had to put my mind over the matter of fact, because the matter of fact was, or what was, this is happening, and it's still going to happen, but God is still in control, and you still got stuff you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come out of it, you're not going to be behind,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to be helped, and you're going to see everything
Yes.
that I need you to see and get everything I need you to get. And so for me, giving myself space in moments, inside of moments, to just be human,
Mm-hmm.
to just be a human and not be a robot, and not be I'm blessed and highly favored when I feel like crap. And also just to make sure that I'm aware of where I am in my mind,
Mm.
so I don't slip into depression, so I don't slip into
Yes.
fear, slip into doubt and self sabotage, because I'm really good at that.
Mm.
I'm
We
really
all
good at
are. Let's be
I'm
honest, friends. We all are.
A+ at self sabotage. I will watch a season go by and not do anything just because I'm afraid of what's on the other side of it.
Mm.
And so I'm becoming more aware of that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the space I'm talking about. Give
Mm.
myself space in those moments to be human
Yes.
and to live that, because
Mm.
as Christians we think we got to be superhuman.
Hmm.
No, I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sad. I'm really sad. So I'm depressed.
Yes.
That's all that is. And I'm gonna stay here until I need to come out. Don't pull me out either. You can pull me out, but I don't want to be pulled out. I want to stay here. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
human. Like, let me be
Mm-hmm.
human
Mm-hmm.
and figure some stuff out. And so and it has nothing to do with writing, but it's just life,
Life.
just life. And so I've learned those things for me, for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Friends, yes, we get in those moments, but don't stay. Reach out, call a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we stay there too long, we get comfortable and feel like, oh, where have you been in my life? No, that's not where you're supposed to be for the rest of your life. Get out.
Yeah.
And it's like waves of it, like you in it and out of it and things, because life be lifing,
Be life and
Um, I was
yeah,
thinking of the game Monopoly. I was like, we used to get intense over that game, but it's for real. Like you get property, then somebody land on it, you owe them money. This real life.
it's real life.
Your car break down, go to jail. It is not really jail. Some have gone to jail. God bless you. Hmm.
Thank God it wasn't me.
Yes, yes. I mean, I went to visit, but God bless work related. You got clarified. You know what? Whatever. But what happens is life is happening. There's always something
Yeah.
going on, and it can cause you to be sad. It can cause you to be overwhelmed. It can cause you to be frustrated, and you be like, God, what's going on? I said I trust you. You said you got me, and he's like, I do got you. You just got to trust the process.
Woo.
My pastor was
My
talking on Sunday. He was talking about how God will show you the end of the thing. And as amazing as that is, it's that middle that jams you up because you have no idea how you're going to get there. You be about to die, some get falling off, bleeding off, and then you get there and it's all back together. Be like, oh, okay. And it worked out. But while you
story of
was
my
going
life.
through it, this valley is supposed to be the shadow of death, but it feels like death, God.
It feel like I'm in a casket like this. Like I gotta be dead. This gotta be what death is.
But we gotta trust the
But
process.
that's the process. We hate a process.
We hate a process.
I
You
hate it.
know, growing up, we used to go to the braid shop all the time. Like, that was the place to get your hair braided. I mean, friends and them knew how to do hair. And actually, that was worse when it was like the friends and at the house because they really take the whole day. But
Hmm.
when you would go to the shop, you're not quite sure how it's gonna come out when there's two people on your head and you just like, oh, but you trust the process. And when it come out, you're like, you are beautiful. You know,
Hmm.
you're amazed for how it went. But you had to go through those hours. You know, it used to
Yeah.
be 8, it got a little shorter and things that sort because they got a little faster. But you gotta trust the process.
Yeah.
And again, if it didn't work out, we learn our lesson from it.
If them edges fell out, you knew you had to tell them next time. Leave them edges.
Yes, you knew next time, not my edges, keep my hair sad because I'm going to need them later on, But you learn from those experiences is what we're trying to say. You be missing edges, but we be cute. Be cute because they going to braid you to the guys. You going to be like tight up there. You was like, why you
I
look like
just
that? My
did.
hair hurt. My
Right.
hair hurt. I should have said some talent up before I went. Um, but that too, sometimes when we know that someone's about to be crazy, prepare yourself. Do what you got to do to make sure you're good before you get into it to the best of your ability, but also knowing that it's going to come out, it's going to be amazing. Is there anything that you want us to walk away with? I mean, we talked about a lot. You might have hit it, but I just always like to ask just in case.
You know what? The My big picture, and this could be true for all of us, is no matter where we are, what we do, whether we find ourselves writing or struggling or whatever it is, we have to stay in a place where God is. We have to stay in the presence. And I call it the presence because it's an actual place. We have to stay in the presence. Um, we don't understand always how important that is. Even when we go through periods where we don't want to read our Bible, we don't want to pray because we go through that. I'm coming
Mm-hmm.
out of that. I'm coming out of that. I've been there for 2 years since COVID. It's been rough.
Mm-hmm.
However, my relationship with God has never changed because I'm constantly in the presence. I may not be caught up nodding and crying for 30 minutes in a worship song,
Mm-hmm.
but I know how to get
Yes.
him. I know how to get to him. I know how to, because he's in me. And so we need to really just stay, especially now. We're
Mm-hmm.
in a season, in a time where God is really just advancing the kingdom. He's advancing our currency. He's advancing our language. He's advancing our outward appearance. He's advancing his agenda, the kingdom.
Yes.
And he's not only advancing us, but it's happening quicker.
Mm.
And so we need to be in a position where we catch the flow of God. I posted that a while ago. It's easy. His flow is easy. You just got
Mm-hmm.
to know where it's at and how to get it and then
Mm-hmm.
stay with it. And it looks different for everybody. It may
Yes.
not look like how our pastor got to live a life of whatever. We all got to live a life of prayer, but it may not look like that all the time. Let's be
Right.
real.
Right.
But stay in the present, stay in a place where God can be seen and heard and felt and understood.
Mm.
It's a personal thing, but if y'all don't remember nothing else, stay there because there you'll see,
Yes.
there you'll hear,
Mm.
and you'll be able to articulate what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and you'll be able to articulate the flow of heaven.
Mm.
That's important. That's so important.
Mm. So, so, so good. Jessica, I
Mhm.
also wanted to share because we talked about the friends piece and how sometimes your friends won't support, but there's other ways that they support, like you being on this live to support your friend tonight, her twin being on this live. So there are ways that, they do, that friends do support. It just may not always look how you want it to be. And we just
Mhm.
want to be mindful of our expectations. But I want to say thank you to each and every one of her friends, specifically for tuning in, for all of my friends and my new friends for joining in, because I call all of us chosen friends because we were chosen for such a time as this. Why? Because Queen Esther, that's my girl. Uh, but also knowing that we are chosen for this. Whatever it is that we're to be doing, we are chosen to do this. And the support that you give is amazing to be able to help and encourage somebody else. You'd be surprised, like, she get on and talk, but like, oh, my friend Jessica got on. Oh, my twin got on. You didn't have to do that. I go live
Mhm.
every Monday after all my friends were like, all right, Jennifer, or I check in when I can. Why? It's a Monday. Monday was even Monday. And I mean, phone calls after phone calls. I said, what in the world's going on today? You know? But I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the show. This is amazing.
It was. Thank you. We got to do it again.
Absolutely, because we gotta keep on keeping on. I don't know why that came to mind, but we do gotta keep on keeping on. We can't give up. Whatever it is that we are destined to do, we'd be surprised how helpful it is to somebody else.
Yes.
So thank you to all of our chosen friends for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us. May you have a good evening. See ya.
Love you guys.
Oh, tonight we had the amazing Char talking about cast your vision. Friends, I do hope that you had an amazing time tonight. Don't forget our quote of the day. Change is inevitable. She can't talk tonight. Change is inevitable. Change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. I guess I can't say that word 5 times fast, huh? But guess what? It's going to happen. But personal growth is a choice. And friends, I want you to make that choice today to do whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. Don't give up. There's somebody that can support you and help you. Reach out to your friends, those that you feel you can trust and share. And let them know what it is that you want to do, what vision you want to cast, what things you want to do. And see, they may know somebody that can help you if they can't help you. Be sure to join us next week as we close out our I'm an Author series with Tyra Gardner for Live Anger Free. Oh, it's going to be a good one. So be sure to tune in next week. We have a great lineup for you for September. I'll be sharing that next week. I am so again grateful for each and every one of you for tuning in. It was amazing, wasn't it, Jessica? I thank you so much for tuning in. This was so powerful, ladies. I feel so blessed, and I feel blessed too. My prayer always before we go live is that whoever tunes in, they hear something that encourages them to keep on going. So thank you. I think that's all the announcements that I have. I want to give a shout out to everybody that signed up for our meetup. I was able to confirm our meetup on today. All the ladies I've been talking to that have registered are so excited. And guess what, friends? We're about encouraging, inspiring people to keep on doing whatever it is that you want to do. Sometimes we need some accountability. And I know that's a cuss word to some because we don't always want to be held accountable. I mean, I said I was going to do it, but that didn't mean I want to do it right now. I might want to wait a little while. No, the time is now for whatever it is that you want to do. This is the season. So walk into your season. Thank you again so very much for tuning in. I love you all for real. Until next time, good night.
Friends, we thank you for joining Jen Cares this week. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Unable to watch us live? Be sure to find us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also visit our website, chosencounselors.com. That's chosen with a Z, so that you can stay in the know and most of all, never miss a show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend. Most of all, be sure to tune in for our next episode next Monday at 8 p.m. right here as we specialize in bringing the community to you.